the d level. As you know, the maximum number of electrons in the d level, in the d level, maximum number of electrons possible, that is equal to 10 electrons. Maximum number of electrons possible, that is equal to 10. So, how many orbitals are possible? The number of orbitals,
5.
number of 5 number of orbitals, that is equal to maximum number of electrons is equal to 10 divided by the maximum capacity of an orbital is equal to 2. So 10 by 2, that is equal to 5 orbitals are possible in the d level. In the d level, 5 orbitals are possible. And these 5 orbitals are dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square, and dz square. These are the 5 d orbitals. dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square, and dz square. These are the 5 d orbitals. I repeat, the maximum number of electrons possible in the d subshell, that is equal to 10 electrons. So, the number of orbitals possible in the d subshell, that is equal to 5. There are 5 orbitals in the d level, 5 orbitals in the d level. And which are they? They are dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square, and dz square. Instead of dxz, in the book it may be given as dzx. It's all right. It doesn't matter. Similarly, the order given, say after dxy, in the book it may be dyz. It's all right. It doesn't matter. So dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square, and dz square. These are the 5 d orbitals. And what will be the geometry of these orbitals? You take dxy, dxz, and dyz. You take these 3 orbitals, xy, xz, y. And these 3 are double dumbbell. They are double dumbbell in shape. Double dumbbell. And say you take only 2 axes. You show only 2 axes. Say for example, take xy, dxy. When you are asked to draw the shape of dxy, you mark only x and y axis. dxy, you simply mark it as x and this is y, suppose. dxy. You show only 2 axes. You show only 2 axes. And you label the axis as x and y. Similarly, dxz and dyz. You label the axis, say x and z, and here we have dyz, say yz. You label the axis like this. Okay? dxy, dxz, dyz. How to draw the shape? You just draw the 2 axes, only 2 axes. You simply draw 2 axes, perpendicular axes, and mark them as, if it is xy, you label the axis as x and y only. If it is xz, Anthony, you are right. If it is xz, you mark them as x and z only. If it is yz, you mark the axis as y and z. And I told you these are double dumbbell. So what will be the shape. Say double dumbbell. See, the shape is like this. There is one dumbbell and here there is another dumbbell. Double dumbbell. And see the position of the two dumbbells. The position of the two dumbbells. Say the two dumbbells are between the axes, and these are the XZ. Sorry, DXY. These are DXY. So this is a DXY orbital, DXY orbital. XY, remember, XY, DXY is double dumbbell. It's a double dumbbell. And these are between X and Y. These are between X and Y. Care must be taken. Between X and Y, double dumbbell between X and Y. Now you go to XZ. That is also double dumbbell. And these are between X and Z. See, here there is one dumbbell and there is another dumbbell. And this is DXZ. XZ. Say, you have marked only the X and Z axis. You draw only two axes. That is very safe. Otherwise, you will be confused. You will be confused to draw the shape. You label only two axes, And DXY between X and Y. DXZ between X and Z. Now you come to DYZ. That is also double dumbbell and the two dumbbells between Y and Z. And this is DYZ. So do you get me this? Do you get me? Okay. So DXY, DXZ, DYZ, these are double dumbbells. Not only that, these are between the corresponding axes. Achyut, these are between the corresponding axes. Do you follow what I say?
Yes,
When
sir.
you are asked
Yes,
to draw the shape of the d orbitals, you draw only two axes, perpendicular axes. That is to avoid confusion. You need not draw all the three axes. Draw only two axes and label them as accordingly. If it is XY, you label the axis X and Y. If it is XZ, you label the axis X and Z. If it is a YZ, you label them as a YZ. And the electrons will be flowing, say electrons will be, say they are moving along the surface of the double dumbbell, say along this surface. The electrons will be moving, not in the circular path, not along the circular path, but on the surface of the dumbbell, double dumbbell. Now, how do you get the shape of the dumbbell? Dumbbell, it is not simply the shape of 8. It is not simply 8. How do you get the shape? You take a balloon, a long balloon you take, and fill it with the air and twist at the center. Twist at the center. Then you will get a shape. And that shape is a dumbbell shape. Dumbbell shape. At the center, there is the nucleus. And the electrons will be moving along the surface of the dumbbell. So each portion is called a lobe. That is called a lobe. Each portion is called a lobe. Lobe of the dumbbell. Say, you take this, that is a lobe, and this is the other lobe. See, like this, other lobe. At the center, there is the nucleus. Similarly, you take the other dumbbell, see, this is one lobe, and this is the second lobe. See, this is the central point at which there is the nucleus, the position of the nucleus here. Okay, so you have got the shape of the dxy, dxz, and dyz orbitals. These are double dumbbells, and these are between the axes. I repeat, these are between the axes. Two dumbbells between the axes. Now you come to dx square minus y square and dz square. X square minus y square. As before, you draw only two axes, x and y, x and y. And this is also double dumbbell. That is also double dumbbell. But the two dumbbells are along equal size. The lobes should be equal size. And these are along the axis. And this is d x square minus y square. S square minus y square. So two dumbbells along x and y axis. Two dumbbells, double dumbbell. Two dumbbells along x and y axis. And it is dx square minus y square. Now you come to dz square. dz square. You take the z axis. You mark only the z axis. You label only the z axis. We have, Achut, we have only three axes. We have only, Achut, we have only three perpendicular axes. Three perpendicular axes, Cartesian axes. Out of these, two are already utilized. Two axes are already utilized for drawing the double dumbbell. Only one axis, that is the z-axis, is free now. So the z square axis will be, orbital will be like this. That is along the z-axis. And here there is a belt at the center. Say another balloon, a long balloon. And that is say given as, say when you are wearing the pants, you are using the belt at the center, belt. Similarly, here also there is a belt at the center, and this is a dz square orbital. Okay, there is a dumbbell, and there is a belt of an electron cloud at the center of the dumbbell, and the z square is along the z axis. Okay, do you get the idea? You got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, any doubt?
No,
You follow?
sir.
Huh? So, let me ask you again. You come to the D level. Come to the D level. The D level maximum electrons possible, that is equal to 10. Then, the number of orbitals possible, Anthony, the number of orbitals possible, 5. And they are dxy, dxz, and dyz. There is nothing to remember in this. That is only the combinations of various combinations of x and y, x, y, and z axis. These are the various combinations of x, y, and z axis. There is nothing to remember so hard. Listen, it's not very easy. So these are the various combinations of x, y, and z axis. So the d orbitals, Achyut, why are you always turning to that side? What's the problem there? What is the fascination there? Okay, so the 5 d orbitals are dxy, dxz, dyz. 3 combinations. Okay. Now, the x square minus y square, squares. And there is only one axis left, and it is z. So it is a dz square. Got it? Out of this z square is a dumbbell with a belt. And the others are double dumbbells. All the others are double dumbbells. Here dxy dxy, Navi, dxy, that is a double dumbbell between, Navin,
Sir.
xy. You unmute.
Sir.
Between, louder please. Between,
Again, yes, sir.
dxy between, unmute and say, unmute, Navin,
Yes, sir. Muted.
between, okay, it is a between x and y axis. It is a between x and y axis. Then dx and double dumbbell between x and z axis. Then dyz, double dumbbell between y and z axis. Come to x square minus y square and z square. X square minus y square, double dumbbell along the x and y axis. Along the x and y axis. Then dz square. That is a dumbbell with a belt at the center, and that is along the z axis. You got it? So we have got the various orbitals possible in the subshells. Yes, subshell. Then the shapes of the orbitals, the number of orbitals, all the things we have studied. Let us revise again. Only after that, let me pass on to the next point. Yes, subshell. Yes, subshell. How many electrons can be there? Maximum, Gauri?
2.
Orbital, 5 electrons. Maximum
Sir,
number.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear?
No, sir.
What
It's
about
not
you,
clear.
Nandana? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how many electrons are possible? Maximum number of electrons in the S level?
2.
4. Still you are confused. You make it thorough here first. Otherwise, I cannot move. Sharon, what is the maximum number of electrons possible in the S level? Sharon?
2.
Eh?
2. 2.
2 only. Yes, 2. Maximum number of electrons possible, 2. Then number of orbitals possible. Come on. Nandana.
1.
S level.
1.
1. Shape of the orbital.
Spherical.
Ashwin. Shape of a S orbital. Spherical. Only after studying this I can go further. Because all these things are needed for the next chapters. Next chapters. We are going to the advanced topics. We are going to the advanced topics. And we are laying the foundation stone now. Say the foundation stone we are laying now. Only after, see the basement, if it is strong, we can build the building strongly. Otherwise, the whole building of chemistry will collapse. Okay. Now you come to the P level. Maximum number of electrons possible. Maximum. Anthony?
6,
6. How many orbitals are possible?
8,
3. Which are they? Name it. You are looking at the notes. Okay, you look at and give the answer. Which are they? Punya, you please help Anthony.
PX,
PX,
PY,
PY,
and
PZ.
PZ.
And what is the shape of a? No, please mute it. Unmute. Okay. So, shape of a p orbital?
Dumbbell shape.
Dumbbell. And how are they oriented?
Mutually perpendicular.
Mutually perpendicular along the 3 perpendicular axes. Now, come to the D level. Rijas, what is the maximum number of electrons possible in the D level?
10.
A bit louder, please.
10, sir. 10.
10. You told 10?
sir.
Yes, it is 10. Sometimes I find it very difficult to hear you. Maximum number of electrons possible, that is equal to 10. How many orbitals are there in the p level, Rajas?
5.
5 orbitals. Which are they?
dxy,
dxy,
dxz,
dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square, and dz square. Okay. dxy, dxz, and dyz. What is the shape? Rajas? xy, xz, yz.
double
Double dumbbell and orientation, direction, position.
Between the axis.
Between the axis, dxy, between x and y. dxz, between x and z. dyz, between y and z. Okay. Now you come to dx square minus y square. Hari, Shri Hari. dx square minus y square. What is the shape?
Double dumbbells.
Double dumbbell. Position, orientation.
Along x and y.
Along the x and y axis. You got it. You will get. Don't worry. Along the x and y z axis. X and y axis. Now come to the z. dz square. dz square. That is along the, Emmanuel, which axis? Along the z-axis. Z-axis. There is a dumbbell with a belt at the center. All right. So we have got the subshells, the orbitals, the shape of the orbitals. Now the electrons are in the orbitals, not in the orbits, as it was suggested by Bohr. Okay. This idea of the subshell, the orbital, the number of orbitals in the subshell, the shape of the orbitals, all these things can be obtained from another theory. We have got an idea, we have got the shape, we have got the number of orbitals, all these things are there with us. And this can be explained. That means the number of orbitals possible in a subshell, the shape of the orbital in the subshell, the direction or orientation of the orbitals in the subshell, all these things can be obtained from another approach, another theory. And that is called the quantum mechanical model of a atom. That is another theory. Quantum mechanical model. Quantum mechanical model of a atom. Quantum mechanics, quantum mechanical model of a atom. We can explain the possible subshells, the possible orbitals in a subshell, the shape of the orbital, the orientation of the orbital. All these things can be explained using another theory that is called the quantum mechanical theory or a quantum mechanical model of an atom. And this theory is based on the particle wave dual character of electrons. Say, we have seen that electron has particle and wave dual character, as it was suggested by de Broglie. So electron is also having particle and wave dual character. And the quantum mechanical model is based on the particle wave dual character of electrons. According to this theory, orbital is a wave function that is based on particle wave dual character, particle wave duality, particle and wave duality. And according to the quantum mechanical model of atoms, orbitals are named as wave functions orbitals are known as wave functions. In the quantum mechanical model, orbitals are named as wave functions, or these are also known as the energy levels of electrons, energy levels of electrons. Do you remember? We have already studied that orbital is the region in space where there is maximum probability of finding the electron. The region in space where there is maximum probability of finding the electron, that is orbital, that we have already studied. Now you come to another approach, a different approach. All these are different views, different theories suggested by different scientists. We are building up chemistry based on different theories, different views. This is another view of an atom, and that is the quantum mechanical model. In the quantum mechanical model or quantum mechanics, orbitals are wave functions. There is particle and wave dual character. From that, we get an equation. For the orbital and the solutions. No, you know the say equation, say ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. From that you can get two solutions for x. Two solutions. Similarly here also, for the orbital, there can be an equation known as the wave equation. We need not go deep into that. We'll study that in the higher level. That means in the degree level as well as in the PG level, more details. So there is an equation that is known as the wave equation. If there is an equation, there will be some solutions for the variables. And these solutions means the different values that we get. The different values or the solutions are known as wave functions. So orbitals are considered as wave functions, or they are also known as the energy levels of electrons. And an orbital can be characterized using three numbers. The quantum mechanical model, in the quantum mechanical model, an orbital can be characterized using three numbers. And these three numbers are called quantum numbers. Three numbers called quantum numbers. These are called quantum numbers. And the quantum numbers are, what are the quantum numbers? The quantum numbers are the principal quantum number, principal quantum number, and it is denoted by small n. Then we have the azimuthal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, or a secondary quantum number, or a subsidiary quantum number, and it is denoted by the letter small l. And one more, that is called the magnetic quantum number, magnetic quantum number, and it is shown by m, or you can write it as m as a subscript l, ml, or simply remember m, that will do. So an orbital, say an orbital can be characterized using 4 numbers known as quantum numbers. That is the quantum mechanical approach. Quantum mechanical approach. An orbital can be identified or characterized using 3 numbers known as quantum numbers. And the quantum numbers are principal quantum number small n, azimuthal quantum number that is equal to small l, and a magnetic quantum number m or ml. M or ml, that is the magnetic quantum number. So using these 3 quantum numbers, we can identify or we can characterize or we can say define an orbital. Which is the orbital? Which orbital it is? We can characterize the orbital using these 3 numbers. And these 3 numbers are called, the quantum numbers. So what is the significance of quantum numbers? Significance of quantum numbers. Quantum numbers are 3 numbers used to characterize an orbital. To characterize an orbital. And the 3 quantum numbers are, which are they, Adul? The quantum numbers are principal quantum number small n, then
azimuthal quantum
azimuthal or secondary or subsidiary quantum number small l, and a magnetic quantum
magnetic
number
quantum
m
number
or
small
ml.
m.
See? So if we get to these 3 quantum numbers, then we can easily say which orbital it is. So we can say these 3 quantum numbers are the complete address of an orbital, an address of an orbital. We have the name, the house name, the post office name, etc. All these things are there to identify us, to recognize us. Similarly, this is a complete address of the orbital as well as electron also. So if we know the first 3 quantum numbers, namely the principal quantum number n, then azimuthal quantum number l, and the magnetic quantum number m or ml, we can reach the orbital. Your name is there, your house name is there, and your post office is there. Therefore, the postman readily comes to your house. Okay? He identifies, he recognizes your house, making use of your name, your house name, and the post office also. Similarly, here also we have the quantum numbers, the principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, and the magnetic quantum number. Now let us see which are they and what are the significances of these quantum numbers. Let us go to the principal quantum number. The principal quantum number. Go to the principal quantum number. That is equal to small n. Principal quantum number is equal to small n. And what is the significance of the principal quantum number small n? It is the representation of the shell. It is the representation of the orbit or the shell. And the principal quantum number has values 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. N has values 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. corresponding to K, L, M, N, etc. shells. So we can say principal quantum number is the number of the shell. It is the same as the number of the shell. So if we get the principal quantum number n, we can come to the shell. we can come to the shell. So it gives an idea of the shell, the orbit. The principal quantum number, it represents the shell or the orbit. And the values are 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. corresponding to K, L, M, N, etc. shells. And as you know, the principal quantum number is the same as the shell. So it represents the shell. It represents the shell. Is it K shell, L shell, M shell, etc.? Not only that, it gives us the size of the orbital also. Size of a orbital. Size of the orbital. That is also obtained from the principal quantum number. Say, if a principal quantum number n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1, principal quantum number n is equal to 1, immediately we can say it is the K shell. It is the K shell. K shell. Principal quantum number n is equal to 2. Suppose n is equal to 2, then it is the L shell. You say it is the L shell. Similarly, principal quantum number n is equal to 3. N is equal to 3, then we can say it is the M shell, etc. So if we get the principal quantum number, immediately we can reach the shell. That is why I told you that the principal quantum number n represents the shell or the orbit, K, L, M, N, etc. If you get the value n is equal to 1, immediately without any hesitation, we can say it is the K shell. If n is equal to 2, immediately we can say it is the L shell. N is equal to 3, immediately we can say it is the M shell, etc. Not only that, from the principal quantum number, we will get the size of the orbital also. It gives the size of the orbital also. Okay. Now you come to the next one, that is the azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal, that is equal to L, small l, represented by small l. Azimuthal quantum number, small l. It represents the subshell. It represents the subshell. Subshell. Azimuthal quantum number, it represents the subshell. The number of azimuthal quantum numbers will be the same as the number of the principal quantum number. There can be n azimuthal quantum numbers in a shell, and the values of L will be L is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. corresponding to the various subshells. So the azimuthal quantum number or the secondary quantum number or the subsidiary quantum number L, it indicates the subshell, and the values will be 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to n minus 1. There can be values up to n minus 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to n minus 1. So if the azimuthal quantum number L is obtained, immediately we can say which subshell it is. Which subshell it is. L is equal to 0, that is the S subshell. L is equal to 1, that is the P subshell. L is equal to 2, then it is the D subshell. L is equal to 3, that is the F subshell. That is subshell. So we will get the subshell also. Not only that, it will give you the shape of the orbital also. Shape of a orbital. So first, it indicates the subshell. Second, it gives the shape of the orbital. L is equal to 0, yes. L is equal to 1. L is equal to P. And L is equal to 2D. L is equal to 3. That is equal to F, etc. Thus, we'll get an idea of the various subshells also from the azimuthal quantum number or the